Hi everyone, this is Melinda from MTZ Redesigns. Welcome back to another tutorial from the Paint Couture creative team. I recently finished this really fun buffet with a French country / boho style twist. So today I have a tutorial for you that will go over some of the different techniques that I use to achieve this look. I'm using paint from Paint Couture, some of the heat bendable wood appliques from iFlex wood products, and a few other surprises. So if you're interested in seeing how this came together, hang out with me for a few minutes and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, let's get started. So prep work is key with furniture upcycles and redesign projects. So this piece needed a little bit of TLC. So I started off by making some repairs, and this is a custom job, so my client didn't want or have a need for these flatware slats, so they were the first to go. I had a new back panel cut for the buffet, and I worked on some areas where the veneer sustained a little bit of water damage. I also removed the original hardware and filled the existing holes because I already know that I'll be adding new hardware. But after all the repairs are completed, I then scuff sanded with a 220 grit paper and cleaned the entire piece with Paint Couture's Fresh Start. Now I'm going through and gluing certain areas of the top part of the buffet with Titebond Quick and Thick wood glue. I'm just using a fine gauge needle, and then I'll clamp those areas and let them dry. Next, I'm going to start planning out the placement of these iFlex wood appliques, and I'll use the same wood glue to adhere them onto the buffet. iFlex wood products are heat bendable moldings, and they can be painted, stained, drilled, sanded, and varnished. I've removed the buffet doors to make this part easier because I need to be very careful about making sure that this applique is centered appropriately on each door. Another important key element to adhering iFlex wood appliques is a blow dryer or a heat gun. The pieces are heat bendable, and so since I want to ensure a snug fit, I use this to warm up the wood appliques before applying the glue, and also after applying to my piece. It also kind of helps to make sure that the glue is setting in the right areas. Once I've got the pieces set with the glue, I'll add just a small piece of tape to keep it steady while they dry. Once my iFlex wood products are dry, then I'm going to paint the entire lower area of the buffet in pitch black. I just like to think of it as a color primer for the blend that I have planned. It's my own personal preference to add dimension and depth with the intricate details of iFlex wood products. When you're painting over these intricate details of the iFlex pieces, you don't want to go in with too much paint because some of these openings are so tiny, you just want to use your paint sparingly so it doesn't become a runny mess. Now I'm going to use the same piece of tape that was used to tape off my drawer fronts so I can decoupage the drawer sides. I'm just moving the tape up over the drawer fronts that are already dry. And then I'm using chalk style paint and Simply White to paint this entire area where my decoupage paper will be adhered. Using the color white under my decoupage paper allows for the most crisp color of the paper to be transparent after the glue dries. And then after I have that painted, I'll leave that to dry for about 30 minutes. Since I want the drawers to showcase the full view of the decoupage paper, I'm going to stack them up just as they'd be positioned inside the buffet. And to adhere the paper, I'm using Paint Couture's Decoupage Medium in a matte finish. So I'm laying down a coat of the medium and then adding the paper on top. Then I use a smooth silicone tool to push out any air bubbles. If you've never tried decoupage before, you might find it easier to do this with gloved hands. The gloves make it so much easier for me so that the glue doesn't get tacky on my hands and cause issues with the paper tearing. After I have all the air bubbles pushed out, then I'm adding another layer of decoupage medium on top, and then I'll leave that to dry. When they are fully dry, then I'll use a 180 grit sanding block to sand off any excess paper. I'm going to put the first coat of Paint Couture's Luxe Metallic Paint in Antique Gold here on the top of the buffet. I'm not too worried about the brush strokes because once it's dry, I'll give it a light sanding and then I'll add another coat. Now I'll begin painting with a coat of Opal Green from the Chalk Style line. This coat doesn't have to be perfect because this is just a base color for me. And then I'm going to add some Night Sky and Purple Haze in here. They are also from the Chalk Style line. You can get it in the acrylic mineral line, but I'm using these three colors from the chalk line. I am using different brushes for each color. And then with the help of my water misting bottle and a new clean brush, I'll begin blending the colors. This is what I call a rough blend though, because I want that boho effect. I don't want the colors to marry completely. Then I'm going to repeat the same process in the front, still working with those same three colors. Once the colors are dry, I'll start working on another grungy element. I'm using Garnet from the Chalk Style line, and I'm just using the top of a densely packed brush to dab this color in random spots. And then I'm using my sea sponge to add some antique gold over those spots as well. Both colors are being applied in a dabbing, stippling fashion, and it's just a little fun element to add in certain corners of each part of the buffet. Now I'm using a dry brush technique to apply antique gold over the iFlex wood appliques. And by dry brush, I just mean that I'm using a very light amount of paint on the brush. I've even rubbed off a little bit of the paint onto a paper towel, so I'm not going in with a whole lot of paint on the brush. And just that little bit that's left on the brush is enough to put the color that I want onto the appliques. Now, before I start applying my transfers, I do start to map them out where I want them applied. That way it makes it a little easier on me and I'm not just kind of going in blind. But I'm using a floral one. It's called a Floral Anthology, and that's from Iron Orchid Designs. And the gold transfer is called a Bird Song, and that's from Redesign with Prima. Next, I'm using a gold gilding wax for my hardware just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. So pretty. And now the top of the buffet is just about ready. I already sanded it. I give it a really light sand, and now I'm going in with another coat of antique gold, but this time I'm going to use a roller for a smoother finish. And here is the finished look. She's a super happy, cheerful buffet now, and the client was in love with this transformation. That wraps it up for today's tutorial. Again, I'm Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you were able to learn about new ways that you can use some of Paint Couture and iFlex wood products. But please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if I've inspired you to create with any of these products, please feel free to use my affiliate link that will be located down below, along with a full list of all the products that I used today. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the amazing content that our Paint Couture creative team is putting together for you. Thanks again and have an awesome day, everyone. Bye.